Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Horror Debate. I'm Michael Mandy and with me is Rowdy Jeff.
Hello, and this week, you're going to love this one. Mike, you're going to love this one.
The most brutal movie
you love this
ever
one.
made.
I know it. I can feel it from here. Chaos by Dave DeFalco.
From 2005.
An ex-pro wrestler. So I got to love it, right?
Yeah, that's why I saw this and went, oh, Jeff, you're going to love this.
I got to. He didn't look so ex in the special features, though. He looked like he was still in good shape.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, the acting was a little bad on his part. I'm glad he wasn't in the movie. But beyond that, I mean, you know, he looked all right.
Special features. This is the only... This tells you something about the movie when we start off telling you about the special features.
Well, no. I just had to say that. It doesn't say much about the movie. This was billed as the most brutal movie ever made.
Which means we had to see this.
We had to see it. And, you know, this is definitely one that will, I don't care if you're male, female, she-male, whatever, this will absolutely move you in one way or another, don't you think?
It'll move you. That's true. Let's just say you're not going to sit still. That's for sure.
Yeah, you're not going to sit still during this one. This has some scenes that were very affecting. You know, Mike, you saw it before I did.
Yes, I did. And I said, dude, you got to see this movie.
Yeah, well, see, I had heard of it, okay? And then I told you about it.
Right.
And then you actually watched it before I did because I've been busy doing, like, other things. And then I sat down and watched it just today, as a matter of fact. And I'm still reeling from it, dude. What did you think? What are we dealing with here, first of all?
What we're dealing with, first off, is this movie's directed by a pro wrestler, Dave DeFalco.
Yeah.
So that should tell you something right off the bat.
Yeah, it tells you that the dude could whip your ass.
The second thing it tells you is, they set out to make a brutal movie.
Yes.
And it's basically... I think the funniest thing about this movie is it says written by, and it has two other guys. This is a remake of Last House on the Left by Wes Craven.
Sort of.
Sort of. It's a remake of Last House on the Left.
Yeah.
All the way. The only thing that changed is the last 5 seconds of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, certainly close enough.
So, okay.
Certainly close enough.
So I'm looking at this as a remake. I'm sorry, they say it's, oh no, it's
But you
totally
got these two college girls, right? They're getting together to go to a rave. I mean, to make a long story short, right?
Yeah,
I mean, they're going to this rave, and basically they're looking to score some E. Right, some ecstasy, okay, and the first chap they come by at the rave because they get there early, right, and it's in the woods, and the first guy they come across that they like, oh, he's a tweaker, we'll go talk to him.
Is Sage Stallone?
Sage freaking Stallone, right?
Yeah, Sylvester Stallone, Rambo's kid.
Yeah, he was in desperate need of a haircut. Desperate need of a haircut, but they go over to him and they say, "Hey, man, do you know where we can get some E?" And these are, fairly attractive young ladies, right? So he's like, "Oh," but little did they know that this guy is the bait.
Yep.
Right, to get these young ladies to go to this cabin.
And girls don't go to a cabin with a strange guy in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, remember when the movie started and they scrolled the text up the screen? What did it say, Mike?
This movie is meant to be a warning.
Meant to be a warning to save lives. That people, you shouldn't follow strangers that you just met 2 seconds ago through the woods to a remote cabin.
Yeah, hunting for dope.
Hunting for dope. Well, or hunting for anything. If there was tacos over there, I might go.
Yeah, exactly.
But hunting for anything.
That would
right?
sound weird. Jeff, don't go to strangers with tacos.
Or buffalo wings, either one.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So anyway, they do.
Come here, Rowdy. I got some buffalo wings for you. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm there, man. So they do follow dude, right? And they end up in the cabin. And who's there?
Who's there? Kevin Gage. That name's probably not going to ring a bell, but he was in Dee Snider's Strangeland.
Yes, he was.
He was the cop who really didn't act all that great. But this dude was really he's learned his craft since then.
Well, this character, I mean, if you're any sort of an actor whatsoever, have any talent whatsoever, this Chaos character, because that was his actual name in the flick, you could open this thing wide up. I mean, you could be as vicious and brutal and evil and everything else as you could possibly be. I mean, you can open yourself up.
He's the head tweaker, and this other guy, Steve Wozniak, he's like his...
Who?
Steven Wozniak.
He built Apple Computer.
No, not that Wozniak.
Oh, come on.
There's got to be someone else with that name. But anyway, these two guys are, Kevin Gage is the head tweaker. Stephen Wozniak is like his yes man. Whatever you say.
His greasy yes man.
Yeah, his greasy yes man. And then there's this nasty, skanky girlfriend. I don't know what. She was just
Speaking of she-males.
She was creepy.
Yeah,
and then you had Sage Stallone's little kid.
Who was probably the most normal looking dude in the whole thing, right?
Most normal. Yeah. Oh, these people were evil.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, opinions. What about this? Talk to me.
Okay, so
tell me what.
So
you thought
I'm looking
about
forward to a slaughterfest here, and this movie really didn't turn out to be a slaughterfest. I mean, it really turned out to be a slow, methodical process. Right?
It was definitely a cat and mouse game.
Absolutely. They wanted to play a game. You heard them when they abducted the girls.
Oh, yeah.
This was about fun and games to them, nothing more. They wanted to just play toys to torture and kill. Mm-hmm. Okay? I think it was very effective, Mike. I thought, now, okay, some of the acting wasn't so good. Okay? But I will say
some of the acting from who?
Not Kevin Gage. Kevin Gage was great.
Kevin Gage was evil, man. He was creepy.
The parents were horrible.
Yes, the parents were bad.
The parents of the one of the young ladies they were absolutely ridiculously bad. And you know what's funny about that, Mike? They were the only skilled or supposedly skilled real actors in the whole freaking movie. Really? Everybody else was unknowns. Did you notice that? Fairly unknown.
Except for Stallone.
What was he in?
Yeah, he was in Rocky 5.
Oh, big deal. You wouldn't know him unless it said on the thing Sage Stallone, right?
Right. Okay, I got to think. What did you think of Sage Stallone's acting? He grew up around movies. He grew up around theater. He grew up around.
But that doesn't mean anything because you might not want to. You may decide you want to pursue something else.
At a young age, he was in a major motion picture.
Well,
what did you think of Stallone?
I didn't think he sucked. I didn't think he was all that great either.
Okay, here's my thing on this. Okay, he was supposed to be the odd one out of this band of
reluctant.
The band of evil people, and he didn't really want to be there, but he was going through the motions because Chaos was his father,
right?
But and so he looked uncomfortable. He was squirmy, and he did it. Now this could go either way. I don't know. This could go either Sage Stallone was not that good of an actor, and that's why he was squirmy and didn't have that good of a presence, or he was a good actor portraying squirmy and uncomfortableness.
He was a decent actor.
And I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
I'm going to give him the benefit that he did a good job portraying uncomfortableness.
I thought at the beginning of the film he was really weak. I thought when he was luring the girls, he was really weak. As it went on,
because he didn't want to do it.
When he got him back to the cabin and he realized, oh no, now he knew what was going to happen. He knew what was imminent, what his father and them were going to do. So then you saw the squirming start. That's when I thought he started to show some talent.
Well, I thought doing the girls, he was going through the motions, he was saying the lines, but he really didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
And so you could, like I said, you could take that either way. Either the actor is just going through the motions and saying the lines, and he stinks as an actor, or Stallone was a good actor portraying that he didn't want to be there.
He was a decent actor. I wouldn't say a good actor. I wouldn't say a bad actor. I'd say he was just about baseline with what he did in this film.
Well, like I said, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt that was what he was trying to portray was uncomfortableness and unsure.
And I got that from him.
Yeah, oh yeah, I got that
from him.
That's just it. I was watching the movie the first time going, oh man, this guy is terrible.
Well, how many times you watch this, Mike?
About 3 times.
You watched it about 3 times?
I had to show it to other people.
Oh,
dude, you got to see this movie.
See? Well.
So that's why. So I'm going to give Stallone the benefit of the doubt. Dude, you did a great job portraying someone who didn't want to be there, and someone who really didn't want to say the lines that were forced.
He also did a great job portraying somebody who got stabbed in the ding-ding, but that was later on, right? That was later on.
Yes, he did.
So, okay, Sage, what we need you to do, can you see Dave DeFalco? We need you to act like you got stabbed in the balls, okay?
Kevin Gage, what do you think of
Kevin Gage knocked it out of the park. Fantastic performance,
that dude was
top
evil.
to bottom. Evil as Satan to the core, man, but awesome.
It's funny, when we first saw this group of little skanky, nasty people in the forest, these people don't look so bad, but then their actions and just looking in his eyes, I mean, they were just...
He played the real deal, dude.
Oh,
I mean, he was totally in that character.
Yep.
He lived that character.
Even Stephen Wozniak, just some of the things he would do, and like he would shudder and just act, and it's like, I was with someone who lived in a situation in that. He's going, dude, these guys are really good. These guys did their homework.
Yeah. Oh, and the cops were unbelievably bad, too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
isn't that funny? In this movie, the people who you sided with, just going, "Wow, these guys are putting on a performance," are the bad guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to say you were cheering for the bad guys to do these evil things, but they were pulling their weight.
Okay, well,
the good guys weren't.
Let's talk about those evil things, Mike. Now, what makes this movie the most brutal movie in history, according to the director and the producer, who have plenty of words to tell you just exactly how great their product is? Okay, so
they show you homicide,
suicide.
Oh man, Dave DeFalco gets off on these special features
when he's in the morgue. You got to watch the special features on this DVD. You got to watch the LA morgue stuff, man, because he is totally in the wrestling character, surrounded by dead bodies and body parts and car accident victims, homicide. It was ridiculous, dude. I was actually laughing the entire time they were doing that segment
because this guy was just being his wrestling character,
totally into it,
with no shirt on. It's 40 degrees inside here, but this is my home. I feel comfortable here.
Mike, we got to get you to cut a promo,
dude. I told you I saw this like 3 times.
That was good. Hey,
it was funny. Then the mortician guy, he's just saying, yeah, oh yeah.
The mortician guy was nervous.
Chewing gum.
Yep. But you notice how naturally the mortician guy was showing the body parts and the decay?
Well, you got to have that detachment.
Yeah, I mean, he was just as natural as could be, as cool, calm. But when he got around Dave, man, it was like, whoa, wait a minute.
So anyways, back to the film.
No, the evil things, Mike. Let's talk about the evil things.
Okay, this film was, the thing that I can relate this movie to was the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre in terms of the camera doesn't shy away from anything. The camera rolls in the dirt. You see dirt. You smell the dirt watching this film. Mm-hmm. This film makes you feel uncomfortable just because it's gritty. Mm-hmm. It's, I don't want to say gross, but I mean it's that grassroots looking film like the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
But on the flip side of that, and in contrast to that, it's not filmed with the grit. It's not filmed with the sand in the picture.
Right. It doesn't look like it was made
clear.
It wasn't film stock from the 70s.
Yeah.
No, it was modern film. But I'm just saying the camera angles
the style of shooting was tremendous. I thought they did a great job.
And it wasn't all handheld camera shaking everything just to give you the illusion of suspense or no. They just set that camera down and just let you soak it all in.
Evil things, Mike. What evil things?
You soaked in evil things.
Talk to me about evil things. What did we soak in, Mike?
You say it.
This is going to be a really tough one to describe without you guys turning off this debate.
I'm sure go on the internet and you can find out the details. This film doesn't shy away from it.
Yeah.
Okay, now here's the point. The director, Dave DeFalco, the producer, everybody. I saw there was enough. There wasn't much money to film this, but they did fine with what they had. Mm-hmm. What did they set out to do? They set out to make a gritty, ugly film. And they made a gritty, ugly film.
All right, I'm going to say it, Mikey. Okay. Here's what happened, okay?
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Brace yourself. Okay, and all you listeners, brace yourself. I'm going to say it in English as unbloody as possible, okay? They get the 2 girls, okay? They take them out. They drive them out to a remote location in the woods. They lay them down. They're hog-tied. They got duct tape on them at first, right? And they tell them basically to perform on them, right? And then what happens? They get away.
And then it becomes a chase.
They get away. Then it becomes a chase.
Well, that's to pad the time. I mean, but
now you're ticking chaos off. And you don't want to tick chaos off, right? I mean, he was going to be a little. I mean, I got the impression he was trying to not make this a big slaughter fest, right? But he was wanting to play a game. He was wanting to, you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
I don't need to go into this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they make him more upset, and it becomes more of a, I'm going to get you.
Yeah, it becomes more of a revenge thing. Okay, so now he tracks one down. He tracks down the blonde chick first, right? Who goes over that rickety bridge again? By the way, that freaked me out. I'm like, man, that thing's gonna fall. Look at that thing, man. So he gets a hold of her, and what does he do? He decides to. Well,
you can find out by downloading it on the internet because everyone else talks.
Oh, come on, we can say it. He de-nipples her. Can I say de-nipple?
You just did.
Okay. I said de-nipple. He de-nipples her and then adds a little A1. No, he doesn't add a little A1. He eats. Well, he tastes it and then makes her taste it. Is that good enough?
That's one of them.
Okay, yeah. All right. And then what does he do? He turns her over and stabs her, right?
Yeah.
Like 3 times and then rapes her.
Yeah.
All right.
And then Steve Wozniak takes a turn too.
Yeah, you know.
And like we're saying, the camera doesn't flinch. The camera
No,
doesn't
if he could have zoomed
away.
in any tighter, he would have. I mean, you know, I mean,
they show you everything.
Unbelievable. And I don't know which one was the more disturbing kill. Was it the first one or the second one?
Yeah.
I really don't know. I think they're about equal. I'm not even going to go into the second one. But that's what we're dealing with here.
And then if you've seen Last House on the Left, you know the movie continues a little bit past that.
Yeah.
But
visceral, bloody nastiness.
This is a very visceral, bloody, nasty film.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But I'm digging it. Now, okay, so the parents, we realized, couldn't act early on, right? We're like, okay, these are supposed to be the actors. Because what they said about the girls, the two girls, they just came in off the street. This is like their first acting job ever. Right? I mean, they auditioned a whole bunch of nobodies because they didn't want anybody to go, oh, look, that's, Denise Richards, or, or whoever, that we recognize and take you out of the experience.
Right.
They wanted all these people that you did not know because they want you to think this is the real deal. And
yes.
it looked pretty darn real to me,
It looked pretty gruesome to me.
So anyway, having new actors brings kind of a whole new thing, but then you expect them to kind of be flat and flubby, sometimes. But the experienced actors, you're expecting them to be pretty good, and they blew.
Well, it's like Kevin Gage was in Strangeland, and we thought he was no good in Strangeland.
Yeah.
But I tell you, he was a personification of evil in this movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was just evil.
So
he was creepy.
This is probably, how long was this film? Like 80 minutes or something? I mean, it wasn't that long. I kind of felt like it went by awful quick.
74 minutes.
74 minutes. That's a little over an hour. That's the most intense 74 minutes you're going to see.
Yeah.
That is the most intense 74 minutes you're going to see.
Okay.
So let's go on to something else now. Let's talk about the commentary a little bit. I want to just bring up a couple points of the commentary because I had to go back and see what the director and the producer had to say about some of these scenes.
What the hell was in your mind?
What were we thinking? Even DeFalco himself, who is a friend of Andrew Dice Clay, by the way, which is brought out in the commentary. Well, that makes him 2 notches up in my book, just to start with. Okay, but he said Dice hadn't seen the movie yet. He said he couldn't wait to get his reaction.
Oh, I can imagine what Dice would say after seeing this. You sick mother!
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Get away from me and my kids.
So basically, he's talking about these scenes and talking about the tension buildup and how they methodically tried to keep, no music in it and because they wanted it as gritty as possible,
Yeah, music is at a minimum. Special effects, there's none.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very almost documentary style, but with better camera angles, really.
I was a little disappointed that they shot it in 4:3 in full screen. I wanted a widescreen presentation. I don't know if there's a widescreen version out there, but I watched the full screen. I would have liked to have seen the widescreen, but I mean, God, what can it add to a movie like this? I mean, more dirt?
Yeah.
More bushes?
Dirt, more dust.
I don't know, but I always like to watch in widescreen, but this was the full screen presentation. But anyway, back to the commentary. DeFalco's a funny guy. And so is the producer in a way. They were talking about Roger Ebert. Okay, the whole Ebert controversy, right?
Okay, the Ebert controversy was Roger Ebert said, this is a well-made film by talented people, but what's the point? It's kind of like filming a guy falling out of an airplane to his death and keeping the camera on him the whole way down. What's the point?
But their point was...
That's what Ebert has a problem with.
All these other movies that don't have a happy ending... kind of where it's going, right?
Right.
In Fate and Doom, right? But okay, they still have a point, right? Mm-hmm. So Ebert, I don't know what hole he was talking out of, but I disagree. I think there's totally room for these type of films. It's just he doesn't like it. He didn't like the message that was being sent.
Right. Exactly. He did not like the message that was said, and he said, "What's the point of this? Movies are supposed to make you feel better, and this movie definitely brings you into the gutter."
Yeah.
But you know what? I kind of side with Ebert on that, but the other side, that's the film these two guys wanted to make.
Right.
So that's why they said we're going to make the nastiest.
I don't
film.
side with him. Because no, why do you always have to have a happy movie, Mikey? You don't. You can have
exactly.
You can have the downer flicks. You can have the upper flicks. You can even have the meth flicks if you want. No, I'm kidding. But anyway, the point is that I think there's room for all types of art.
Okay.
And for this particular type of art, these guys pretty much knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to tell you, they did a great job with what they had, and it made sense, and it was a cohesive story.
Yes.
And it was shot well.
Exactly. The producer, the director, obviously these guys have got talent. They set out to do something and they accomplished it. Mm-hmm. I can't see any room for improvement. I can see where they could have screwed up a lot more, but they didn't. And I don't want to say I enjoyed this film. I don't want to say I liked this film, but looking at it as what they set out to do, they accomplished
Do
it.
you realize that the entire crew on this movie left like 3 days before shooting was to end? And I didn't get the full story on this.
Really?
I did not get
They
the
all-
full story
you
on
guys
this.
are sick,
But they
man.
all left. They took off. And they had to hire a whole new principal photographer,
Wow.
all new camera people. I mean, think about that.
Yeah.
You're right in the middle of your flick.
And your whole crew walked
And the whole
out.
crew walks off.
Wow.
Right? So they were talking about that. I didn't get the full story of why that went down like that. But I was like, wow, just because of the problems that they had filming it, they brought on, first of all, they brought on an acting coach for the young ladies because they wanted them to really show emotion, really scream. They were talking about the screams, Mike. Did you notice? And I noticed this when I was watching it. When that blonde screamed, the level of her scream went off the chart.
Oh, yeah.
Right, it was super loud. And they said they intentionally did that. He said most of the time, when you're doing a movie like this, you want everything kind of in the pocket, right?
Right, you want a level sound line.
Yeah. Well, he intentionally cranked it up when she would scream, and they said that in a test audience, I believe it was. I'm not sure if it was a test audience, but it was somebody was saying that if you close your eyes and you just listen to the soundtrack of this film during the intense parts, it's a nightmare all to itself.
I bet.
And I can see that because she was very good at that, man. Very good at portraying that terror and emotion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Mike's like,
What can I
yeah,
say?
Yeah.
Well, I've said it before. This is a really ugly film. It brings you down.
But
it will
you
affect
must
you.
watch it, I think.
Yeah.
I think this is an important piece.
This movie is kind of like a car crash.
It's an important piece, though.
When you're driving by a car crash, you slow down. And if you don't see anything, you go, "Phew, glad I didn't see any dead bodies later." But
Yeah.
if you do see one, then you go, "Oh my God, I can't believe I saw it," and then you feel terrible at yourself for seeing it. But you know what? This movie is like that. We heard it's the most brutal film ever made. Yeah, we got to see it. And you know what? This movie delivered, and now I feel bad for seeing it.
You feel bad for seeing it?
Dude, this was a ugly film.
It was
but-
ugly.
Yes,
It was
okay,
dirty. It was
yes.
gritty. It was bloody. But it was sadistic. I'm
Yes.
not even gonna go
Okay,
there.
yeah, this
I'm
is a
going there. It was
sadistic film.
sadistic. But
that's what they wanted to do.
it's an important piece because of that. Because
Yeah.
I have not seen anything in the last, I don't know, 2-3 years that has even come close.
Yeah.
It's even come close to matching the grit and intensity of this flick.
Oh yeah, like the remake of The Hills Have Eyes. That doesn't even come close to
Everything
this.
else looks like Sesame Street.
Yeah, or the remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning.
That's the new Zoo review.
Exactly.
You just
The Electric Company.
You remember that, Mike? The new Zoo
Hey,
review?
you guys.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think it's an important piece. I
Hey,
think
Morgan Freeman was Easy Reader.
I love Morgan Freeman. Don't put that picture in my head. Look, I didn't love it, but let me just say this. I love what it did. I like the effect that it had on me. I like the effect that they were talking about, let me go back to commentary real quick. They were talking about the first showing of the movie. You got 1,500 people in a theater in LA, right? And all these hardcore horror fanatics, right? And they're all sitting there with their women, okay, watching this flick. Now,
boy.
can you imagine what went down here when we get to the first kill? Everybody was fine up until then. Everybody was like, you can see maybe a little uneasiness, but everything was cool till the first kill. After the first kill, women were standing up in droves. Okay, he said about 200 people stood up during the first kill, most of them female, and their boyfriends, the real hardcore horror nuts, were standing up arguing with them in the theater because the girl wanted to leave and the guy wanted to stay, and I guess the girl won.
They always do.
I guess they won, but still, it was a cut down the middle kind of thing. If you are a female watching this movie, you better be one tough broad.
Yeah, you're not going to like this movie at
You
all.
better be one tough broad, because this is all about degrading the female.
Yes, this is definitely a macho testosterone film.
But I like what it did.
That's what they set out to do.
I like what it did. I like the emotions that it brings out, and it's valid just for that. I would absolutely recommend it to people with a strong stomach, people who can handle this sort of thing, this very realistic kind of gritty movie. Track it down. It's worth seeing at least once.
And recommend this to people you don't like either, so they won't sleep at night. Dude, you're an idiot. Here, watch this
watch
movie.
this movie.
All right?
Yeah, watch this movie.
I wanted you to squirm for
I
3
can't wait
days.
till I hand the disc off to my brother-in-law and not even say anything. Just like, here. This is the movie I was telling you about, man. Go check this out, right? I can't wait till he calls me like an hour and a half later and goes, I'm going to come murder you now. I can't wait. I'm going to do that.
The third time after I showed this to like 3 different people, this one guy was like a total, loser tweaker guy. Dude, here, you can keep this now. I've had enough of this movie. You can have it.
Well, Mike, let's rate this thing. Let's rate it.
Here's my problem is rating this film. How should I rate this? Should I rate this at how I feel after watching the film, or should I rate this as did the people who made it accomplish what they set out to do?
You should rate it as a piece of art that it is, because it is a piece of art. Now, whether that art makes you throw up or whether it makes you jump up on the trampoline and do flips, it's still a piece of art, and it made you feel the way the director intended you to feel. Right? So that's the way you should do it. And because we're doing it that way, I'm going to give this 3 stars. Okay? I was thinking almost 4. Just because of the effectiveness of the film. I'm going to give it 3. There was some some pitiful acting. Pitiful acting by some. And I do agree with the director and the producer that the unknowns did a fantastic acting job. No doubt about that.
Yeah.
But the knowns, I don't know what happened there. Okay? I don't know. I just don't get it.
The cops and the parents were
I don't get it.
But the scummy tweaker people, everybody bad in this, even Sage Stallone, knocked it out of the park.
Absolutely. And like
especially
I said,
the girls.
This is a 3 stars with a very high recommendation for people who like this sort of thing. Who are willing to go to the extremes of brutality in their films and realism.
Yes.
So what are you rating it?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Go see it.
Yeah. No, I'm serious. The director and the producer, this is the movie they set out to do, and they accomplished what they wanted to do. And they wanted to creep you out and affect you and make you squirm.
Infect me?
Yeah.
They were trying to infect me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I've got that one scene in my head, like, the later kill, the last kill.
In fact, what about when they flipped her, they cut it off and then flipped her over, and the dude sitting next to me, oh, man, dirt's getting into that.
No, that's the first kill.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The first one, and I just sat there and went, dirt is the least of her problems.
The second kill, it was slow, methodical, and absolutely the most brutal thing you can think of. I can't even say it. I'm not even going to say it in the debate. Just check it out.
Yeah,
just check it out.
So I'm going to agree with him. It should, if you're looking at it as what they set out to do, 4 stars.
Yeah.
But of course, I don't want to watch it again.
I started to watch it again. I did, because I was like, whoa, what did I just see? So I started over. And I started watching like the build up to it again. Very well done. I was shocked. I was shocked at how well it was done.
And I hate to say it, but I'm looking forward. What Dave DeFalco on the special features gave you a little sneak preview of what he's trying to do next.
Yes.
And that looks pretty interesting.
What was it called?
The Devil's Doorway.
The Devil's Doorway. Yeah. So anything by DeFalco now, I'm going to be real curious.
Yeah.
Whether he's coming off the top rope or he's, filming some kind of, brutality, I got to check it out.
All right. Just don't watch this with your wife or girlfriend.
Keep them far, far away.
Yeah. So I'm Michael Mandy. He's Rowdy Jeff. I'm going to take a shower. Talk to you next week at the Horror Debate.